hope you're doing well. I'm doing something a bit different today that I haven't done before, but that I love to see on others booktubers channel. It's gonna be a reading vlog, but for one book only, for Legendborn by Tracy Dion, sorry. So I'm gonna start by telling you why I want to do this reading vlog. Basically, it's because Simon & Schuster Canada were super generous and sent me this full box of books and goodies, including Legendborn, and because it was one of my most anticipated reads of the year, and because I thought that they were super generous to send us all of that, I kind of wanted to mark the occasion and do a vlog about it. That's what it is. So I'm just gonna show you the box first here. So there's this fall into fantasy. I love the pun here. This autumn, we can't wait for you to discover mythical creatures. I never know how to pronounce this word. Magical spells and other worlds with us. We hope you love this book and full favorite goodies as much as we do. That's really so nice. So first we have Legendborn. It's a loose retelling of King Arthur and the Knight and Merlin and all of that myth and legend. We have this young black woman who lost her mom in a car accident and who moves away to try to start over her life. And she one day assists to, I think it's a demon or an evil creature being cast away by a secret society. And when they try to erase her memory, it triggers her power and she kind of enters this society as well. And she's gonna try to discover what really happened to her mom after all. And it said in the synopsis that they are actually descendant of King Arthur, King Arthur and his knights. So yeah, that was a book I was so looking forward to, and I'm really excited to read it and to share with you my thoughts and everything. Then we also had an advance copy of This Violin Delights. It's a retelling of Romeo and Juliet, but in Shanghai in the 20s, which is an area I really love, but I have no idea how it was in Shanghai at this time. So I'm really curious, even if Romeo and Juliet is like not my favorite story, I'm really curious to see the take of the author in this one. And the last one, I had no idea what it was, really didn't know it at all. It's Magic, Dark and Strange by Kelly Powell, and I read that it's about a young woman who can awake the dead, so I think it's a perfect read for this season, especially that I'm doing a reading challenge in French and we have all these prompts for the fall, and one of them includes a book with ghosts, so that's gonna be perfect. Then we have this hot chocolate mix, French vanilla. I love chocolates and I love to drink hot chocolate, so that's perfect. We have the Fall into Fantasy candle. It smells so good. Oh my god. I'm gonna try to show you. Sorry for the light here. And it really smells like a Bath and Body Works fall candle, and I love them. Like cinnamon and vanilla and all of that's really good. And that's so cute. It's a cup holder, you know, you put your cup in it so you don't burn yourself with your hot drink, and I've always wanted to have one, so I'm super happy for that. And thank you again, Simon & Schuster, for this box, because it's really amazing and I'm so happy that I have all of these books to read. And yeah, so that was the intro kind of my reading vlog, and I'll see you soon when I start reading the book. Hi everyone, that's it. Today is the day I'm ready to start Legendborn, and I'm so excited to be reading this book. I can't wait, and I hope I'm not gonna be disappointed. I'm gonna start reading the first chapters, and I've never done a reading vlog before focused on one book, so I don't know yet how I'm gonna do this one. So we'll see together. See you later. Hey, so very quick and super early update as I'm only at chapter 2 of the book, but I'm surprised, but in a good way, that we're already getting some action. And I don't mean that kind of action. I mean a demon. This is not a spoiler, it was in the synopsis of the book. But yeah, chapter 1 and we already have the demon fight happening. So that's pretty good that we are already like diving right in everything. I like that. And I already really like Bree's character. And I love that we had pop culture references or like literature references like Harry Potter, Pride and Prejudice, Star Wars, all that in the first chapter, and that was really cool and funny to read. So all is good so far, but yeah, I've only read 20 pages, so I'll catch up with you again later. Hey, so I'm at almost page 100, page 98 actually, but it's the end of a chapter, so I'm going to stop there for a bit. The book is around 500 pages, so I'm a fifth into it and really enjoying it. There has been one chapter, I think, where I was like not sure about Bree anymore, but it quickly passed and now I'm back full on loving her. I love Nick, the new male character we just met also, and things are really starting to get interested. Like we're already making a lot of discoveries on the secret society of the Legendborn, and I love the kind of character Bree is because we can see her struggles with her mom's death, but she's also portrayed as super bright, and we see that in the pages because very often you have like super smart characters but then you don't necessarily see it in the book, but we really see it with Bree and the way she makes connection and form plans and everything. So I love that about her. We also just got a non-binary character, which was a good surprise, and I marked some passages in the books that I thought were interesting or important. And well, you know that this is a non-voiced by a black author, so of course it brings a new dimension to secret society or fraternities or old universities, because like she says in the book, they were not built for black people. They were built at a time where people never thought black people would get there. And so we have this scene at the beginning, we have this scene in when she starts to apply for the order and everything, so it's like a welcoming moment, and she says, and then there's the fact that no one else here looks like me. Nick follows my gaze, sees what I see, a room full of white kids, not a person of color in sight, and grimaces. So yeah, like this is something that I have not seen a lot in books. Like this talk about education and secret societies and all of that kind of stuff being very, very white. So I really like that the author mentioned that and addresses that in the book. And there are a lot of little things like that, that because the author is black, she brings a new perspective to her story with Bree being a black character. Well, that's also something I really love. I think I'm gonna take a little break now, maybe watch the Rebecca movie on Netflix, and I'm gonna go make myself some tea latte and have some cookie. So I'm gonna be doing a London fog latte, so it's a latte but with tea. For that, I'm gonna be using the classical Earl Grey from Camellia Sinensis, so it's a black tea with bergamot. I'm also gonna use coconut milk and finally some vanilla syrup.
Mrs. De Winter was most particular about her sauces. Right, well,
well, I will let Mrs. De Winter do that. Thank you.
Very well.
There we go. Thank you very much.
Hey everyone, so I wanted to film the end of this reading vlog. I have no idea how I did, was it a good reading vlog or not? I'm really not used to do that, so let me know what you thought. But anyway, I wanted to tell you about my overall review of this one. There might be tiny spoilers, so just be aware of that. It took me so long, I think 2 or 3 weeks to read this book, and not because I didn't love it, because I did, but just because I had so much work and other arcs I really needed to review. And for this one, I didn't want to, just take 15 minutes and read a few pages here and there. I really wanted to have the time to dive back into it and feel fully immersed in the story, because I thought it really deserved that. So it took me a while, but finally I was able to finish it. I think it was on Sunday or something, and really to finish all the entire second part, and so good. So good. This book had everything I loved and more. Yes, there were a few things I was a bit frustrated with, or a bit too YA-ish for me, but then this is YA, so it's normal. All the characters, even the ones with the short name, had to have an even shorter nickname. That was a bit weird, but okay, why not? And then there were, yes, some more YA aspects that I'm not super fan with, but it didn't matter because all the rest of this book was so good. I'm just gonna put it down because it's heavy. But in the second half of the book, there's a lot of action, a lot of revelations on Bree's family, on her mother's side, and on her magical inheritance from her slave ancestors and Africa and all that, and how magic can be perceived by black people basically from Africa, how they brought it with them, how it changed a bit, how each of them have their different ways to see it, but overall they see magic as roots. That's how they call it. And then on the other side we had a lot of revelation related to the Legendborn and things related to King Arthur and his knights and the Merlins. So we had these two elements we discovered more and more about. We have the romance between Nick and Bree that keeps developing. Then we have all the final development of this book, because there's going to be a sequel that were also really good. There is a big revelation that's happening at the end, and to be honest with you, I had guessed it even before starting the book, so it was not a surprise, but it was good to see how it was brought up and explained, and I really loved that aspect of the book. The end made up for the part where I was less convinced about the YA thingies, but I loved how it was brought up and explained. I loved also, I think maybe not everybody perceived it like that, I don't know, but I feel there's kind of a love triangle coming up, maybe in the next book, between Bree, Nick and Saul. are related to the revelations that happen, because there are several. And I really loved Sal's character, so he's a Merlin more and more through the book, and at the end I was really rooting for him and Bree, but we'll see, I guess, what happens next. But I really loved his character more and more for a lot of different reasons, which I didn't think was possible, because at the beginning of the book he's really an ass. But it happened, so good job to the author for doing that. I love when they make us change our point of view on a character. What I really appreciated in this book too is that it takes a very wide thing with King Arthur and his knights, the secret society, the Ivy League like university. All of that comes from a very white and Western history, and it put in there a black character showing her perspective on everything, also the hidden sides of this history. And that was so well done, so interesting and mind-opening. And I particularly loved how the author integrated transgenerational trauma to the story. It was so good, but it was a good balance between that part about racism and Black people history and the consequences today, and how it's a lot of racism is still present in different things. So there was that. It was really well balanced with the more YA fantasy secret society part. So you can see, I think, that the author didn't want it to be a book focused on that. It's a book about a black girl living adventures and being a fantasy kind of hero, or at least protagonist, and just like having a regular plot that you could find in other books, and this other part is part of her and is added to the fantasy plot, but it's one element. You could see that the author wanted also to show just that black girls could do it like white girls or white boys or whoever. So I really loved this mix of these elements together. It really added a lot of layers to the book and to the reading. It's definitely a book I could see myself rereading. I think I said at the beginning of the vlog that I really loved Bree's character. It is still the case. I loved that she was not a super magical, all of a sudden capable to beat all of the demons. No, most of the time she's lost and getting hurt, and not like developing super magical powers that gonna save everyone just like that without explanation. So I really like that it was not like a fix-it-all kind of character. That was really good. I'll be honest, there were a lot of characters and I got them a bit mixed up, especially with the lines from which knights they were coming from, but we have a very useful appendix at the end. I'm gonna show you. It's the Round Knights Table bloodline, so that kind of helps. I didn't go to look at it when I started the book because I was afraid of being like spoiled something, I don't know, but in the end I think it's okay. There's no, like, you can look at it when you start the book, there's no spoilers there. So again, very good book, and I think it was one of my favorite books of this year. I appreciated so much, like, even like I said, even if there were some tiny things I was more meh about, there are so many great elements in it, and it's well written and it's captivating. The characters are great, the world building is incredible, incredibly rich, and yeah, just read this book. Do yourself a favor and read this book because it was super good. And I think that's it for this reading vlog. Like I said, let me know what you thought, because it's the first time I do a reading vlog, so if there was not enough or something, or too much of something else, let me know. I would love to know what you thought, and let me know if you want to read this book or if you've read it already, and I'll see you soon for a new video.